see just where it is that Wales end, and how the world is right there.
So we're here in the Norwegian church in Cardiff Bay for one of the last gigs of the tour. We're nearly at the end now. Delighted to be joined by Peter Finch today. He's a poet, author, and psychogeographer based here in Cardiff. Thanks for coming down, Peter. So we just wanted to talk to you a bit about what you're doing, about what we've been doing, so I feel like there's some links there. So we've obviously been walking around the whole of Wales. You've done a couple of books where you've walked around the border of Cardiff and the border of the Seven Estuaries. So what do you think you can sort of learn about a place by walking around the edge?
Walking around the edge is terribly exciting. I found it when I discovered doing this, which was walking actually. The initial walk I did was from Chepstow down to Worm's Head, and then I thought, well, it's like if I do this on the other side of the estuary, so I can see the two together. And edges are liminal places. They are places where things change, where things have to reinvent themselves. I think it's that reinvention I like, the way that a structure, for example, a terraced house, which is a terraced house in the city, once you get to the edge of the city, the terraces have to change to accommodate the edge somehow. And I found that all the way along the estuary edges, all the way around the city, the way that things confronted themselves, they confronted their own nature out there at the edges. And life was different. Life was simultaneously slower and faster. I don't know how you found it on the walk, but sometimes it speeds up, at other times you're just there and you're walking and nothing seems to be happening.
That's exactly what we found actually. Our perception of time has walked and stretched, and weeks have felt like days, and another way around at various points. Yeah, it's been really interesting. So another part of this trip and this project that we've been doing is about touring in a different way, spreading music and art in a different way. So obviously, and that's not a new idea. So some of the inspiration of that came from the Welsh bardic tradition. People would walk around and spread stories. As a poet yourself, how do you think that bardic tradition is still alive or feeds into the modern sort of creative culture of Wales?
Well, two things to say coming from that. I always find that the act of walking aids creativity. I can work and I can come up with ideas and I can mesh the music together much better if I'm walking in the air, in the open air. Far better than being shut in a room quietly by myself, or playing some inspirational music in the background. It's the walking, the process of putting one foot in front of the other that aids this composition. Maybe it's that you get the rhythms that way. I don't really know. That's what the bards did. They went around and they sang not necessarily in a different place every night, but in a lot of different places. And that tradition of the bardic tradition of writing and singing merge, if you go back into history, before the advent of print.
Yeah, lots of your books and poems and stories of walking revolved around kind of unloved, forgotten corners of the world that not many other people go to. And I've always been drawn to places like that. Like I said, those kind of liminal edgelands, maybe kind of places with faded glory that used to be one thing and now aren't. What kind of draws you to that part of those kind of nowhere areas, as I call them?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I loved in my walk around Edging the City, which is my book about walking around the city of Cardiff, which was 60 miles all the way around. The exciting bits were not the bits you recognised, where you could see structures that you knew, that everybody knew. The exciting bits were finding the stuff that you didn't know. The jumbled down broken mansions, the abandoned trading estates, the broken down garages, the dumps, the endless dumps, the things that people dump in edge places. And you find that on the coast as well, and you will find it walking from here right the way through to Chepstow. Lots of the edges of the flatland have been built up by people dumping all manner of waste there. And I find that very exciting, poking around in things that are somehow not ordered, they're not, it's not designed or planned, it's somehow just flown together, and you, the walker, come upon them. And that coming upon them is
like a bit of chaos theory to look at. Yeah, that's great. And you also kind of have to let us use some of your words to like written a new song that myself, Chris and Seth have been singing a little bit as we go, and we'll do it tonight as well. Thanks so much for speaking to us. It's been brilliant. Yeah,
Brilliant.
Thanks very much.
I want to see just where it is that we'll end, and how the world is right there. Are there whirlpools, waters falling on the edge of the map, and sea monsters breathing fire? Does the air change its shape? Are the layouts clashing here? Or do they simply ignore the artificiality of nationhood?